Okay, welcome everybody to the March Convention and Visitors Bureau Virtual Power Lunch. I hope you have a snack or lunch or a drink with you. We have an exciting speaker lined up today. I know last month we had Dana Young, who is the CEO of Visit Florida, and she spoke to us on tourism from a state perspective. So we're very pleased to follow that up this month from a local perspective with Peter Kranis, who's the Executive Director of the Space Coast Office of Tourism. And he's got a great presentation lined up. But before we get to Peter, I want to thank Launch Credit Union for sponsoring today's event. And we have with us Victor Maldonado, who's just going to do a brief hi while I queue up their video. Hi, Victor.
Hi, Victor. I am Victor.
Hi, Victor.
I'm Victor Maldonado with Launch Credit Union, and we are very excited to be able to introduce to you what some people know as business lending, or how we call it is merchant lending, our merchant lending program. And I'll let the video speak for itself.
VP of Business Development at Launch Credit Union. My team and I want to share with you a new program that we're very excited about through Launch. This merchant lending program is going to be an awesome way to help grow your business and to provide financing for your customers. The best part, the process is quick and easy with Launch.
I'm Brenda Jonash, and I'm excited to help boost your business with our merchant lending program. One of the best parts about partnering with Launch is our quick turnaround time on credit decisions. Your customers can get pre-approved in one simple click on your website via phone, computer, or tablet, even while in-store shopping.
Hi, this is Ken Rankin. Let's see how we can help your business grow now. This is a win-win for you and your customers. There are no startup or application fees. We have competitive rates, and your company will be displayed on our website for added exposure.
Hi, I'm Johannes Irisari. Wow, that sounds like a great merchant lending program. If your primary language isn't English, we have many bilingual employees ready to assist you, including me. So let's see how Launch can help your business go beyond.
We have a very dedicated team committed to helping our local merchants go beyond and to help grow your business. If you are a retail merchant, we will pay you $50 for every funded deal that's on our standard financing over $3,600. Based upon our research and the current merchants we have signed up with us, no other lender is paying their merchant for deals. Now, if you break that down as an example, if we fund 10 standard deals for you, that is $500 profit in your pocket. Think about what you can do with that. You can add it to your bottom line, use the money to give incentives to your employees, or put it back into your business. And if you do that every month for a year, that's $6,000 to you. I don't know about you, but I'd probably take a nice vacation to Hawaii with that kind of money. And it's all because you're just simply sending your deals to us. The other nice thing about our program is our low rates. On the retail side, most of our rates are anywhere from 18 to 25%. Our rates start as low as 9.25% on our retail side. And on our home improvement side, rates start as low as 5.50%. This is a really good selling point when you're speaking with your customer. The other nice thing on our home improvement side is we do not file UC fees. This means less paperwork and less fees to your customer, and no lien on your customer's property. Again, this is a great selling point when you're talking to your customer. As you see on the bottom there, we also offer a same as cash program. We do offer 0% financing anywhere from 12 to 36 months. One of the nice things we do when you partner with Launch is we promote your business to our 70,000 members. For anyone that knows our members, they are extremely loyal to Launch and know we only partner with the best. We list you on our website as a preferred partner. So if someone's for instance, searching for a furniture store, they're going to go to our website first to see who we recommend. And not only that, we also highlight your business on our social media outlets, such as Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Now, what's in it for you? We've gone over a lot of stuff, no startup costs, more upsells. It's quick and seamless for you and your customer. The other nice thing is once the job is completed or the member has their goods delivered, we ACH the money directly into your account. And then from there, all the servicing is done with Launch as far as payments. Once they become a member, if they have questions, they can contact us and we'll handle it from there. The other nice thing is that same as cash, we spoke about it before. Who doesn't like a 0% interest rate? That's going to generate more business for you. So again, we're here to help boost your business.
Okay, hopefully they came through loud and clear for everybody. Thank you, Victor, and thank you to the team at Launch for sponsoring. We couldn't do it without you, so thank you. And just a couple of quick announcements before I move into introducing Peter and his presentation. The Chamber is going to be moving back to live/hybrid events as of April 1st. So that includes the CVB. The next CVB Power Lunch is going to be that fourth Thursday in April. It will be in person, and we'll have an announcement next week of where that's going to be. Of course, all COVID protocols will be in place for all of our Chamber events. So just a quick note that we will be starting those back April 1st. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that Peter has a great presentation. I have seen it. Unfortunately, myself and Cheryl will have to leave the meeting at 12:45. We are having ribbon cutting around 1:30 in Satellite Beach, and it's for my uncle's law firm, so it would look weird if I didn't show up. So I'm going to be bowing out gracefully around then, but Michelle Goldcamp is on from the CVB office. She's waving right there, and you're in capable hands. We also have some giveaways that are going to happen at the end. So without further ado, I'm going to ask you to go to your top right of your screen and make sure you are in speaker view. So that way when Peter is talking, you can see only him, and then he's going to share his screen and you'll be able to see his presentation. So Peter Kranis, Executive Director of the TDC or Space Coast Office of Tourism. Welcome, Peter.
Hey, everybody. You cut off right at the end there, Jen, but I assume you finished your introduction. I'm sharing my screen. Hopefully everybody can see that. Can I just get a thumbs up, Jen, on that? Yep.
We can see it. Yep. Just start it from the beginning of the slideshow and you're good to go.
Okay. I'm going
Make sure your boxes are checked. Final reminder.
Oh, yeah. Hang on a second. Let me just check
your video.
Yeah. Jen gave me a lesson in the proper way to share video when you're doing this, and you have to click two buttons at the bottom of the Zoom box, which I've never known that. And I've probably in the last year done a dozen presentations like this. So
Your chamber partnership is working for you. We were happy.
And you learn something new every day. Okay, here we go. Should be in full screen mode. Is that good, Jen?
You're good.
All right, very good. All right, thank you, everybody. I appreciate the time to chat with you. I've been doing quite a few presentations the last 3 or 4 weeks. Everyone's very interested in what we're doing to try to bring business back into the community. And, we've been doing a lot of work in the area of branding or advertising. And I've actually got some initial results that we just shared yesterday at the TDC meeting from our first 3 weeks in the marketplace with our new spring campaign. So I'll share that at the end. But I just want to take you through the process that we went through in terms of branding and strategy and positioning, both in terms of our name, how we refer to ourselves, logo, and then that sort of led us into our advertising creative. So we do a lot of research, and one of the pieces of consumer research that we did asked consumers, what they thought of us, what comes to mind when you think of the Space Coast. No surprise, space and beaches topped the list. Shouldn't be a surprise to anybody who's from here, but also a lot of nice comments. They believe we have a lot of natural beauty and that we're very clean. We're a fun and enjoyable experience. There's lots of activities. We're relaxing and peaceful. So all of those things are really very positive, and those were things that we took into our thinking as we began to develop some of our strategy and our branding. This wasn't from another piece of research we did just on the awareness levels. Again, Space Coast, we wanted to see, do people know Space Coast? Do they know where it is? We've got some work to do in terms of our name recognition, and I'll show you some things in a few slides that talk about what others think of us and how they're referring to us. But about 70% of the people we interviewed knew where we were located. They were able to identify very specifically where we were located. We looked at all the other municipalities, Cocoa Beach, the port. Those two rose to the top. Melbourne and Titusville and Palm Bay, all had good numbers. Obviously, we can all improve in some way, but those are pretty good numbers. Vieira, still a relatively new community, has some additional work maybe that needs to be done there. So this was the slide I was just referring to, how others see us. So the media really does look at us as the Space Coast. And if you see, this is just from 2020, so this is just 1 year, we had 868 stories resulting in 573 million impressions, where the media referred to us as Space Coast. And that's not just stuff that we're pushing out, that's just how they look at us when there's a launch, when there's anything that has to do with the space program. That is how they're referring to us. And these are, not only local, but regional and national, and in some cases international stories. So, we're right up there with Cocoa Beach in terms of how the media refers to us. Obviously, Brevard County, a little less known. That typically counties are not the primary thing that are known by the media. It's usually the major city that's in that county. This was just something from recent months, just right at the end of last year. The National Geographic came out with their Best of the World 2021, and we were one of 25 destinations around the world. This was a global review, and we were one of only about a handful of US destinations, and paired up with destinations from all over the place, but they named us as one of their top 25 best of the world for 2021, and they referred to us as Space Coast. So, very positive, and that's something that we want to play off of. So, what we gave our agency, some direction on, and, we always like to set things up with, here's sort of the strategy statements. We asked them to come up with things that would pay off the branding, the overarching brand of Space Coast, make sure that we were leveraging the high awareness of our key areas like Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral, Port Canaveral, be inclusive of the entire destination. We wanted to elevate all the municipalities, so we want to bring everybody along for the ride. And we want to be able to use this in a lot of different forms, and we want obviously some longevity. So we looked at some other brands and to see how they handled sort of a master brand name with multiple sub brands. And we looked at Marriott. Marriott does it in has one way to do it, where they actually do have names for each individual brand, and it they all fall under the Marriott brand, and Marriott's always sort of attached to them. So that's one way. Here's the keys, and they do it interestingly, where they focus on the individual keys or the names of the keys, but then the name the Florida Keys is always connected to those. So that's another way that it could be done. So here's how we decided to approach it, and basically this is a way to look at it where we're pairing up the municipalities with the Space Coast. So Cocoa Beach on the Space Coast, Titusville on the Space Coast. Here's another look at it in just in a different background color, kind of makes the colors pop a little bit, but you can kind of see how it incorporates everyone. And these are sort of the initial brands. Interestingly, we've already been contacted by a lot of other municipalities in the region that are interested in participating in this and want to be part of this. So we're working to kind of expand this list. But this was sort of the starting point for our campaign as we began to look at our spring advertising. So let's talk a little bit about the spring creative. One of the things that we looked at in the consumer research was, there's a lot of other beach destinations out there, and what is our differentiator? What is something that really makes us unique, and why should people come to our beach versus every other beach in Florida or up and down the East Coast? But we always say no other destination can say you can come to the beach and watch a rocket go up. So it really is one of those things that differentiates us and makes us unique. And then when we ask the consumer, about our beach imagery, one of the things that they really wanted to know is why should we choose Florida Space Coast to visit? What does it have that maybe other places don't have? So the consumer is asking the question as well. So, how do we stand out? This was, just a quick look at some of our, some competitors, but also just some other beach destinations. And, the typical way that people promote their destination is it's a beauty shot with a couple or a family or maybe just an individual and some beautiful beach. And that's great, but if we were to just do that, would that allow us to stand out? And our feeling was that we could do something that would incorporate that beach message and all the other great things that there are to do here with the thing that ultimately makes us very different, which is space. And so this was one of 3 campaigns the agency came up with. This was the one that rose to the top. It's called Split Screen. And what you see is basically just that. It's a split screen where we're pairing up the cool things to do, the great things that you can do here with the various shots of a rocket, So in the case of Cocoa Beach, you see the back of the surfboard, the top of the rocket. Titusville, you see the kayak. Melbourne and the beaches, we used the giraffe from the zoo. Palm Bay, we focused on fishing. And these were just the starting point, and these are some of the ads that are running now. But this was really the beginning, and we're now thinking and brainstorming lots of other things that can be included, and incidentally, things not just necessarily, it doesn't necessarily have to be a rocket. It could just be something space oriented, but you could show like the little buggies that they rent in Cocoa Beach. You could show that next to the Mars rover and kind of get the same idea. So just to it gives you an idea, but we're looking at this and we're trying to expand it as well. These were just some of the digital ad sizes, different sizes of that one look, where you could see the surfboard, and some of them you could see the person actually carrying the board. And then these were ads that were used for retargeting purposes. So once somebody clicked on something that showed that they were interested in the Space Coast or in Cocoa Beach, we would then serve this ad up. So here you could see the shells, again, pairing up with the rocket, but all of them tagged with Cocoa Beach on the Space Coast. This is a Facebook ad, so it's a carousel, so the person can actually run their finger or mouse or whatever over that, and then they can select which one they would be interested in. So, if they're interested in the Cocoa Beach one, they can click on that. And then we built out city pages for each each of these. So when somebody clicks, they actually go to a page on our website that talks about that area. This was a billboard, still working on it. This is not actually physically up yet, but this was the concept, and we're still working through a little bit of it, but it gives you the idea, you know, again, Cocoa Beach sort of being the hero, but also showing how the space and Rocket kind of tie in with surfing. Okay, this is where hopefully Jen's advice to me will work, and you will be able to both see and hear our TV commercial, but this is the TV commercial. It's a 30-second. We also did shorter versions, like 15 and 10-second versions that are running in the digital advertising. This is also running on cable and in streaming services as well. But here we go, we're gonna try it.
There's a place where one world ends and another begins. Somewhere born from dreams and curiosity. It's here that you can touch space from anywhere and feel the excitement of discovery from whatever adventure you choose. Start exploring at visitspacecoast.com.
Okay, I'm hoping that was visible and people could hear the audio on that, but if not,
We saw it perfectly. At least I did.
okay, well, I'll send this to you, and you can send it out to anybody, you know, that's interested. If they didn't get to see it in the presentation, you can just shoot it to them.
Awesome, thanks.
Okay, and then just to go a little bit farther, we started looking at from a media buying perspective. We were trying to find out, what do the consumers say when we ask them, where did you see, you know, did you see our advertising first of all, and then where did you see it? So this was done right at the end of the year last year. And at that point, 34% of people were saying that they had seen a Space Coast ad. Obviously, after our spring campaign, we're hoping that number goes up even more. But here's where they saw us. They saw us on cable or satellite TV. They saw us on our own social media. Visit Florida, you know, they have been running a lot of advertising within the state, and they've included us in a lot of their advertising. Some of it was we co-opt with them, and some of it they've just included us because they like our, you know, they like playing off of the space, they like our visuals. So we've gotten a lot of exposure through them. You see other social media, visitor guides, billboards, and on and on. So we looked at that and we said, okay, that gives us a good feel for how we should go about buying media and where we should place our media. And so that led us to the actual media partners. We're running ads on Instagram and Facebook. We're not only doing Google AdWords, but we're running on their display network. We're partnering with Expedia and VRBO, which Expedia owns, and Hotels.com, which Expedia owns. So we're partnering on their website. iHeart has been a great partner of ours. They not only do they have the traditional radio outlets, but they have done so much with their apps and websites. They have a really good following and a good network, just in the digital front all by itself. And then Comcast and Spectrum have both been cable partners of ours. Both of those are, they're able to serve up our ads on their obviously traditional cable. But what we learned, one of the things we learned is about 70% of our audience is running some kind of streaming service now. And both Comcast and Spectrum have a really good access to streaming inventory. For those of you that may not know, you know, when you think about some of these services, whether it be a Hulu or you know, Paramount Plus, AMC Plus, Disney Plus, all these streaming services now that people, you know, will pay a monthly fee for. they're accessible through a lot of different methods, but typically the large cable companies they strike deals with them and they get access to kind of their primary inventory. So that's a nice reason to work with them, is that we get really good inventory access from them. This is a big eye chart. Probably not going to be able to see it on your screen with all the detail, but basically what it shows is just all the partners that I just mentioned to you, what their potential impressions, media impressions are. We're looking at total program over 70 million impressions, and it's about a $650,000 media buy. So that's that kind of just gives you a feel for it. We're running pretty much, some of them are running through the end of April. Some of it finishes up in March or early April, but basically running through the spring break window just past Easter. So what are we seeing? Well, I'll give you some numbers. We are definitely beginning to see the signs of recovery. The last 3 Saturdays, we ran 70, I think it was 77, 78%, 90%, and then 89% last Saturday. So when you look at, those numbers compared to the last 6 months, let's say, they definitely stand out. And we're seeing that growth exponentially week over week, which is what you want to see. You want to see that building and going in a positive direction. And we look at the weekly STR numbers, which include occupancy and things like that. And that just, is really showing us that people are showing up and they're definitely much more comfortable about traveling around. But they're still, for the most part, we're seeing people looking for destinations that are closer to home. So, they're wanting to drive versus fly. We're still seeing that trend. Beach in small towns really tops people's lists. That hasn't changed since last summer. And we play obviously very well in both of those. People are not right now interested in being at a big theme park with a lot of people. Obviously cruising, we still have a challenge with cruising, and that we're not really operating on that side of our business, which incidentally, that's about 20 to 25% of our business, especially here on the beach side. Sorry, I say here on the beach side because I live at Cocoa Beach and I'm looking out my window at the Indian River. So, but here on the beach side, the hotels are definitely feeling that, probably a little bit more than maybe some of the mainland properties. The mainland is benefiting from the during the week business travel. That, while there was a pause in that business began to come back pretty well, along with sports. I would also say that sports like at USSSA Stadium, those activities came back a little quicker than the leisure travel did. So, I would say that, maybe the mainland hotels are benefiting a little bit more from both of those pieces of business. But we are in the middle of spring break. I can tell business on A1A is picked up, and we're seeing that in the numbers as well. Our next campaign is going to be summer. That'll kick off just probably a couple of weeks before Memorial Day weekend, and then that's going to run all the way right up to Labor Day. So that's going to be a much bigger spend. And then just, some things about our outlook, because a lot of people, kind of forget what was happening before COVID. And now that we're sort of coming out on the other side of it, I think we're going to pick up, not exactly where we left off, but we're definitely going to have maybe a little bit more momentum because of it. And when you look at our hotel inventory, we added, and that's a typo, it's supposed to say 3,000, not 300, 3,000 additional rooms. between now and 2023. We added almost 1,000 just last year. So even in the midst of COVID, any hotelier that was building a property basically said, you know, I'm going to keep building it and opening it because I've got my money, you know, I've got my loans, I've got my investors. I don't want to wait. So they built a lot of properties last year, all up and down the county, and we're going to have, you know, probably not quite as many this year, maybe another 760, and then close to 1,000 next year. And then we already have 3 or 4 projects in 2023 we're aware of. So, you know, we're looking about a 24% growth in hotel inventory. Now, why that's important and what that does for us is each of these hotels are connected to a major brand, and those major brands have huge networks, you know, huge sales networks. They have huge booking engines. So just by virtue of opening up a new property, it gets, all of a sudden that inventory gets distributed through all of their channels. That opens up the area to new business potentially. And so I always used to say in Orlando, they just kept building hotels, you know, and when I was over there, they had about 100,000 hotels, and now they have about 140,000. And of course, they're feeling the pinch right now. But before all of this, their occupancy levels were not dropping; they were going up, and their visitation numbers were going up. And I think that really spoke to the fact that hotels can drive incremental visitation. So, you know, while right now it might be a little bit more of a competitive market because of the additional inventory, I think that's ultimately gonna benefit us in the long run. And then you look at the port. I mean, the port was adding 4 new ships. There was over 20,000 additional passengers. I don't think that they're gonna, as the new ships are coming on, I think now what they'll probably do is scale back the old ships, and some of them may get sold off or they might get mothballed. But you know, I don't think they're going to keep all of their inventory. But you know, that business will come back. They're putting a lot of money into their marketing. You know, the port opened up its new terminal. We're ready for the Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is one of the largest ships in the world. It's liquid natural gas, which is the new fuel that is going to be used for all cruise ships eventually. And a lot of what's happening is a lot of these cruise companies are building new ships now with the LNG because they know that eventually the old ships are going to have to be either retrofitted or more than likely just, you know, scrapped. You know, and then launches. I mean, we had the return of human space flight last year. We had 2 human space flights that were fantastic, huge numbers, more than 200,000 people from outside the county came to each of those. They're looking at an increase in launches this year. We were named last year the #1 location for launches in the world, more than Russia, more than China. So, you know, we're basically going to keep that pace. And I threw Tom Cruise up there. There is talk about that he and his production company are coming to shoot a film, and they want to go up to the International Space Station to do some of those shots. And it's very possible it could happen later this year or the beginning of next year. So that's going to draw a huge crowd just because of the name recognition. But, you know, when you think about pre-COVID, I mean, all our economic indicators were positive. And frankly, you know, when you think about real estate, property values have held and in fact probably gone up a little bit. So, you know, I think we're gonna, again, not maybe pick up exactly where we took off, but I think we can get back to where we were maybe a little bit quicker than other destinations in Florida. So again, recovery in spring, but we think there's even a greater opportunity for recovery this summer. I mean, as the vaccinations begin to get out, I heard the governor's now going down to 40 and over. I just got my first shot this morning. When he did the 50 and over, I I jumped on that. So, you know, by April or May, I mean, pre-summer, a lot of people, I think, are going to be feeling pretty good about moving around. If we can get back to some cruising this summer, unfortunately, the CDC did not react to the cruise industry's request that they forego their requirements that were very stringent on them in terms of returning to cruising. And they had about 75 different things that the cruise lines have to adhere to, including testing before, during, and after people get on and off a cruise ship. That's a lot to ask of any industry. They requested the CDC lift that requirement, and they in turn came back and said, no, we're going to keep it in place until November 1st. So I think there will be some cruising happening. We're already seeing some ships that have been repurposed to the Bahamas, just so they can kind of get used to what it's going to be like to deal with the CDC requirements. And then they'll get shifted here. Port Canaveral will be one of those first cruise ships that will be the first port, one of the first ports that will be getting cruise ships in. So, you know, we'll have something, but it's unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get really going until probably fall or early next year on that. That being said, we're still bullish on summer. We're holding a big chunk of our budget for that. We're looking at running about a $1.5 to $2 million campaign. So we're very excited about that. We think that's going to have a lot of impact, as is our current campaign. We just got some numbers, other numbers beyond just STR numbers about our current campaign, and I just wanted to share a few things because it's really interesting how we're tracking things now. It's become the digital world has become, frankly, a little scary in the information that they know about people. But we're working with partners like Expedia and iHeart and a company called Adara that are basically watching what people are doing and able to track with them and find out if they booked something in our area or if they actually came and visited. In the case of iHeart, they're actually tracking people's phones coming here. So the way that it works is we put a pixel or some sort of tag in our ad, and then if the person sees our ad and then ends up booking something here or actually coming here, we can track that. Well, already with only 3 weeks of reporting of the campaign, you know, not even really halfway through yet, we're tracking on nearly $5 million in visitor spending by looking at what was booked or the number of people coming here as being tracked by our advertiser partners, our media partners. So that's a great number. You know, if you think about a $650,000 campaign, we're probably spent about $300,000 so far. About half of that, maybe a little bit more than half of that, is digital. So when you think about the ROI on, you know, $150,000, $200,000 compared to $5 million in spending, you know, that's a good ROI ratio, and that's kind of where we want to be, in that about that anywhere from 20 to 30 to 1 ROI on your advertising for a destination is considered good. So we're seeing the results of the campaign. Obviously, we know there's a lot more people moving around this spring than have been before. People are much more comfortable traveling. So, you know, we acknowledge that, you know, in general, the market is coming back and rising, but we actually, when we track our specific advertising and we see a result of somebody coming here after looking at our ad, I think it's a nice way to sort of attribute what our advertising is driving. So it's like I said, we're not even halfway through. We'll keep tracking. We look at everything from click-through ratios, how many people sign up with us with email and ask for vacation planning kits, you know, all those sort of indicators of travel. But you know, right now, all those numbers seem good. We seem to be heading in the right direction. So that's that's pretty much a summary of where we are. I'm going to stop sharing and open up the floor for any questions people may have.
Really good timing, Peter. I'm about to jump off, so I'm going to put it in Michelle's capable hands. But as I make my exit, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Launch Credit Union, for sponsoring. Thank you, Peter, for the awesome presentation. As you look in the chat, now that you're done speaking, I know it was a lot of talking, but there's a lot of positive feedback on your campaign. So just more positive fodder to take back to your board. So that said,
Yes.
if anyone have a question for Peter, you can unmute yourself and ask at this time, and then Michelle will take over with the giveaways. Any questions? Quiet group.
While people are thinking of questions to ask, I wanted to bring up a topic that maybe some of your members are experiencing, and that is what we're hearing now is trying to hire new employees has become very difficult. We think one of the issues may be transportation. You know, most people that are working in the hotels or in retail stores or in restaurants, they don't live out on the beach side. The beach side's, you know, a little pricier, and they tend to live more on the mainland side. And so getting from the mainland to the beach, it does pose some transportation issues if you don't have a vehicle. So we're looking to work with some transportation partners to do some shuttles. And we're actually talking with Career Source, Brevard, which is, you know, Brevard's organization that helps people with job placement and filing for unemployment, all of those types of things. But, you know, now as people are coming off of unemployment and they're, you know, there are jobs available, you know, we're trying to work to try to make that connection and get people to go from point A to point B. So if you have any interest in that, let Jen know, and she'll send it to me. You know, the more partners that work together, probably the more we can do. But we're just trying to solve for that issue, and you know, that's going to probably continue as we go into summer and businesses increase there as well. So just something to think about.
Good point, Peter. And we have Mike Horan on, who's from Port Canaveral Transit, so he might be a great contact for you and small piece of that solution. So hopefully you guys can connect after the meeting.
Yeah, if he could reach out to us, that'd be great.
That'd be great. Yeah, and his contact information is in the chat as well. Peggy, did you have a question? I saw you raise your hand.
Well, yes, I'm with Central Brevard Art Association, and we're in Rockledge. And as much as this entire presentation was exactly the way I feel as far as marketing yourself, and my goodness, you've done such a beautiful job. I can't wait to see some of this. How does Rockledge fit into some of this? I know, you know, go on.
Yeah, great question. And actually, Rockledge is one of those other municipalities that is next on our list. One of the things that we were doing, and I me through Jen, is what are the things in Rockledge that we should be highlighting for tourists? You know, we know that there's a beautiful botanical gardens there. You know, the Grimaldi Candy Company's there. You know, we know there are certain things there that people like to see. Are there things that you can share with us, and then we can kind of put it into our thinking on how it works with an ad that would say Rockledge on the Space Coast? But yeah, Rockledge is on our list. Cocoa is on the list. West Melbourne is on the list. So, you know, we're trying to add as many of the municipalities that we can. But, you know, we always love for people's ideas to tell us, you know, what should we highlight? What are the things there that people really want to know about?
Right, and Cocoa Village Playhouse does beautiful things, as well as their street fairs locally.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and we're partners with them, and they will definitely be part of our next round. So,
thank you, Peggy. And who else has a question? I'm going to make my exit. Michelle's now officially taking over. Is there any more questions? Mark?
Peter, I have a quick question.
Yeah, Mark.
Are you doing any special promotion for the next crude launch? April 22nd. It's a Thursday. It's
Yeah, we did not have to do anything the last two crewed launches. We will be pushing it out through all our normal channels, but we have found we don't really need to do paid media behind it, because the news media do a great job for us. So, we're gonna ride their coattails, but we'll push it out through our social media. It's always on our launch website and our launch console, which is our app, and then through email and all of those communication tools. So for sure we'll be talking to our audiences about it, but thank goodness the news media, all over the world pick up on it. So, we have a kind of a built-in advertising platform with them helping us.
Yeah, don't spend the money. That's smart. But
yeah, I mean, we can talk about, all the other great things there are to do here while they come to watch a launch. So, we can leverage that.
no, thank you.
Absolutely.
Great question, Mark. Does anybody else have a question for Peter? Okay, perfect. So Peter,
right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. We would love for any feedback that you have on the ads, any ideas you have on, if you come up with a cool idea of what to pair with something related to space, anything about the municipalities that you can share with us. We think we're better together, so we can, I think, leverage each other and balance each other with lots of content for our travelers. And, we're just hoping for a great spring and hopefully even a better summer. And I hope everybody's very successful and prosperous in your businesses. So thank you so much. I'm gonna sign off now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So before we wrap this up quickly, we have door prizes. So I'm going to draw everybody who's still on the call. We put your name in here. So for a $25 gift card from Publix,
Ooh.
our winner is Brian Blanchard.
Awesome. Congrats.
Yay. Okay. And for another $25 gift card from Publix, Tara Roosh. Congrats. All right, here we go. For a BK Adventure gift certificate for Dolphin Tour or a bioluminescence tour, I have Michael Horan. And finally, final one, I have a $25 gift card for Joella's Hot Chicken and Vieira, and that goes to Peggy Nolan. So all of the prizes will be able to be picked up at the Chamber office in Merritt Island. And don't forget that we do have our Wednesday Friends Day coming up on April 7th. It will be a hybrid. It will be outside at the Florida Beer Company in Port Canaveral. And then we also, next month, our Power Lunch will announce probably within the next week or so where our location for the next Power Lunch, and that'll be on Earth Day on the 22nd of April. So everybody have a great day. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle.
You too. Nice seeing everybody.
Okie dokie.